In this presentation, I will inform you of the basics of springboard diving. Our focus points will be position, category, scoring, and degree of difficulty. First, we will talk about the three different positions. This first position here is called the tuck position. This position is where you fold your body into a nice tight little ball. It is usually the position used to learn new dives, and it's the easiest position to hit when flipping faster and doing more rotations. This position shown here is called the pike position. It is when you fold your body in half, keeping your legs straight and hugging them with your arms. This next position is called the straight position. It is a more difficult position to hit because you have to keep your body completely flat with your legs glued together and your arms out. It makes a nice pretty position in the air. That is why they call it straight. Overall, there are three positions in diving: tuck, pike, and straight. As we talked about, these positions can be used to hit any of the 5 different categories of diving. The number 1 is associated with the forward category. The forward category is when the diver starts on the back of the board, approaches the board in a forward position, and takes off the board in a forward position. Number 2 is associated with the back category. This is when the diver stands on the back of the board and throws him or herself backwards to enter the water. The third category is called reverse dive. This is when the diver takes a front approach and does a dive off the board that is similar to what a back dive looks like. This diver is showing a reverse dive tuck. The next category, number 4, is called an inward. This is when the diver stands on the back of the board and throws him or herself towards the board to enter the water. The fifth and last category are called twisters. They can be accomplished in any position and incorporate any of the other 4 categories. It can either be a front twister, back twister, reverse twister, or an inward twister. Now I would like to talk about how these different categories and different positions get scored. The first thing the judges see are the hurdles. These hurdles need to be confident and strong to be able to get the diver into the air to execute the dive as well as possible. The next thing the judges will see are the takeoffs. Is the takeoff balanced? Is it in place? Is it doing the correct dive? These takeoffs are very important in the execution of the dive. A big thing divers are judged on is the form of the dive. If the dive is clean, points will be rewarded. If the dive is sloppy, points will be taken away. The entry is the last thing that influences the score of the judges. A lot of people have the misconception that the entry is what the score is based off of. This is incorrect. Just because a dive has a big splash doesn't mean the diver will automatically get a low score on the dive. Making a nice clean finish, however, does get you higher points and does make the dive look a lot cleaner. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the degree of difficulty. This aspect of diving is rarely known to people other than just divers. Each dive is given a number associated with how hard the dive is. This is called the degree of difficulty, also known as the DD. If a dive is harder to do in a more difficult position, it has a higher degree of difficulty. This ends up encouraging divers to attempt and compete harder dives, so they are not just doing easy dives to get higher points. There are different degree of difficulties for different dives. To calculate the overall score, you add the 3 judges' scores that they gave you, you multiply it by the degree of difficulty of that dive, and that is the total points earned for that dive. After you do that, you add up all of the 6 total earned points for your dives, and that is the overall score mean. Different DDs allow for people who are doing harder dives to earn more points. Overall, I hope now you know all the different aspects of diving. The 3 different positions, tuck, pike, and straight, the 5 different categories, forward, backward, reverse, inward, and twisters, how the judges can score different dives, and the different things they base their scoring off of, and last but not least, the different degree of difficulties for each dive and how that plays a role in the overall scoring of the dive. Thank you.